players like Yanni Gord and Joseph or stuff like that. Hello, everybody! We are back again, and we got the prize Peyton on the radio here today.
Woo!
Woo! We're going to be talking, of course, the game last night, which was a surprising game to say the least. We're going to be doing expansion stuff. We were already talking about it before we even got started here. We're definitely going
Mm-hmm.
to be continuing with our expansion stuff in the last half, uh, which should be interesting now that we got Peyton here too. I think that expansion thing, it's going to keep on. We're going to do it, and then we're going to do another team and another team because like I've gone out to a bunch of the Facebook groups and said, "What do you think about this?" And they've come up with some really good ideas. I never even thought about that. You know, I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to one guy about. He said, "Well, I think they're going to take Letty or Bailey off of us from the Islanders," and I was like, "Well, they're not just going
Very
to
smart.
take those guys off you. You guys are in cap hell. If I'm a general manager, I'm going to use that all day. I'm going to say I'll take Koivula, and then you'll be like,
And we know Francis,
yeah,
he coached the Carolina
yeah,
Hurricanes,
yeah,
or not coached them, GM them, and he was all about drafting, right? He got Aho in the second
yeah,
round, and he was always about drafting. That Carolina Hurricanes
mm-hmm,
squad was a lot of the draft picks that he drafted, late in the draft. And I think that's the way he's going to be going with here with the Kraken, most likely, like what you were saying, just trying to get as much trades. But I think it's going to be different than what we've seen with Vegas. I think we're going to see less trades with Seattle, but just more trades around the
yeah,
league. I feel like it's not just going to be centralized with the Kraken. I feel like, Tampa Bay, who's in cap hell, they might be making trades with other teams around the NHL, not just Kraken and setting them up basically, because everyone basically set up the Vegas Golden Knights and now they're on once again another heater and maybe could go to the Stanley Cup Finals once again.
yeah, yeah. I think there will be more trades, team to team and stuff like that. But I think Seattle will is more than likely going to be definitely going the draft pick route. They're going to build. They're in a better position as far as location is concerned. Seattle is pretty close to Canada. There's a lot of Canadians in Seattle, and Seattle itself is a lot of Vancouver fans already there, and Washington Capitals
Mm-hmm.
fans too. But they have more of a fan base already than Vegas. Vegas really had to sell the product right quick. They didn't want to be like bad for 4 years and then trying to sell the product, right? It
Mm-hmm.
makes total sense. And they did a wicked job of it. Great job. They might even get away with trading guys and not being too bad as far as a rebuild is concerned. Or they could also go through a hellish rebuild. It's hard to say, but Seattle, I think that Francis wants to set that team up so it's solid and going to be good for years and years and years to come, and maybe even a dynasty. So, but yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
I mean you don't hire Francis unless that's what you're gonna do. He's a
Yeah, oh yeah.
he's a traditional thinker. He already said he's going to build from the goaltending out. That is not new
Mm-hmm.
school. New school is the last thing
Yeah.
you worry about is your goaltending, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's more of an old school guy, and he's doing it in the traditional way. We'll see if he actually does what he says, too. Because general managers, they like to throw the curveballs as much as they possibly can to think you're going one way, but they're not.
Yep.
Everybody hear me all right? Look at our everybody's coming in and gone as fast as they get in here. Can everybody hear us all right? Is the stream working all right?
Yeah. I think I was hearing you just fine when I tapped into the stream
Okay,
there.
good. I just wonder where everybody went. Hi, Mercer. Hi, Lord. Austin Rogers. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the live. Welcome in here. Okay, well, um, few things somebody brought up. Yeah, not a big surprise. Rod Brindamore gets a 3-year extension,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I mean that's not really much of a big surprise. But the cool thing about it was I don't know if you heard about this or not, but he said he wouldn't sign anything unless all of his staff that was signed first. Did you hear about that?
Oh wow, no, I did not
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah, he wanted
Huh.
all of his assistants all the way down to the maintenance crew, like everybody. He wanted everybody signed and
Huh.
taken care of and making sure they have jobs, all the way down to the training staff. Everybody he wanted all signed.
That's
I
good.
know. Is you know?
Might as well keep the team. I mean, Brendamore is such a nice guy. You just gotta love Rob Brendamore right now, and you just gotta love the Canes. I mean, I was really sad when they lost to Tampa Bay the way that they did. And I mean, yes, Tampa Bay did have a stacked squad, and I'm pretty sure Carolina's gonna come back stacked than ever. But it was Rod Brendamore is just such a great coach of that Hurricanes team, and he takes care of everyone, not just the players, but everyone in that organization. And it's just good to hear that Rod's doing that type of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just good to see that from
Yeah,
him.
he's a great guy, obviously, and that's why they want to hire him. Uh, the other thing, I mean, a 3 year contract is whatever, really, because Waddell said, I was just reading before we came on today, he basically said, Brindamore, Rod has a job here as long as he wants. If he doesn't want to coach the team anymore, then we'll set him up in the, and that's the way. Wow, come the owner just left my mind. Owner of Carolina Hurricanes. Why did I? He just left my mind. Come on, Lord,
Oh,
tell me what it is. Why has it left my mind? I don't know why.
let's
Dundon,
see.
Dundon,
I know the
Dundon,
GM's.
Dundon, Dundon.
Yes, Tom
Tom
Dutton.
Dundon.
Yes.
That's the way Tom Dundon works. He told Waddell the same thing. He said, "You come here. I'm not going to give you the hugest salary in the world, and I don't think it's come out how much he he's making." Yeah, Tom Dundon.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't come out what Brindamore is getting, but it probably isn't what you would think. But what Dell's only making, that did come out. He's only making $600,000 a year for a general manager in the
Wow.
league. That's like peanuts, right? And but he said, you take it or leave it. I'm not going to pay you. I probably won't be paying you a huge salary. And I think Dundon's idea about that is he wants you to be there for more than the money. He doesn't want it to be wrapped
Mm-hmm.
up in money. But however, Dundon did tell him, you will have a job here forever. Till the
Well,
day
yeah,
you
like
die,
Brendamore's
you will
been
have a
there.
job here forever.
He's been there since 40. He's been with the team for since 2010 when came in as a staff for the director of player development, went straight to assistant coach, did that for 6 years, became the head coach. He's been in that team for a long time. And that's what you want as a team. You want a coach coming up through the system, and you kind of just want that to keep going. You want those coaches to stay in your system because they know the players best, and especially if you have long-term superstars like Sebastian Aho and Shevchnikov and Nedeljkovic and all those guys. If you could keep a coach with those guys and he knows how to coach those guys, I mean, you're just going to have great success. And we've already seen some great successes here for the Hurricanes. I think it's just going to continue to get better as the roster continues to get deeper.
Yeah, yeah. Back to front. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a second. Just like even Hamilton, he told
Hmm.
Hamilton, he said, you don't need to wait for free agency. You can go talk to whoever you want right now. Tell me,
I like that.
tell me what the number is. He doesn't want anybody there that has any regrets at all. If we can't, we'll give you the number. If you
Yeah.
want to go somewhere else for a different number, you're free to do so. I'm not holding anybody
Hmm.
prisoner here. I love that. That is freaking awesome. To me, I just,
And that's the way you kind of have to go,
yeah,
right? Like Carolina Hurricanes, not who like for years who wanted to go to Carolina. No
exactly.
one.
Yeah,
No one wanted to go to Carolina. For the longest time, no one wanted to play. There was no fans in the stands for a long time until now, where this team is actually exciting to watch. They give you a good show. They do the storm surge. They do a lot of
yeah,
good things, and now you have a team that everyone loves. And if you continue to keep these players happy, and you be like, go up to Dougie, like, all right, you go talk with whoever you want. If you want to stay here, then you can stay
mm-hmm,
here. If you ask for a reasonable contract, we'll sign you. But if you want to go off and get your bag and go off and play with different teams, go straight
mm-hmm,
ahead. You
yeah,
know, it might suck for us to lose
yeah,
you. We don't want to, but if you don't want to stay here, we don't want to force you to stay here and make you regret something.
yeah.
And I think that's what you got to
Yeah.
go with because this team is a young team and they still got time. Sebastian Aho is only 23 years old,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they still got their great young goal scorer and Andrei Shnenchikov, who did have a little bit of a struggling season, but he's still
Yeah.
21, right? Players like that's gonna have some seasons where they don't produce as much. Um, so I think what Carolina's doing there with Wardell and Brendan Moore is just amazing. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds with the Hurricanes.
Yeah. I mean, if there was an owner of the year, he'd be my pick. They should be. I really
Hmm.
love what he's done there. I love how he does that team. Uh, I agree with Lauren. We'll talk about that probably in the second half. I think Francis will likely go with like an Islanders type team, where they pay everybody close to equal all through the lineup, looking for the best at every position rather than the superstar route. However, that completely depends on who they get. Even their first pick this year, Beniers, isn't really projected to be a superstar. He's more of a
No, this draft's horrible.
he's more of a Foligno type guy like that could put up maybe more numbers than them, which is still pretty great, you know. So he even looks like him. Go check out Beniers. He looks like a Foligno. It's amazing. Okay. Anyways, my
It's
title says Canadians go off and Islanders turn.
yes.
So we should get to that. And I change my title as we go through the day. Go through this as we go. So we'll talk
Oh,
more about Seattle when we come back, and we'll on the second half because we're going to do our finish off our expansion mock draft. So if you're in here, you want to be there for that. It's fun. It's good times. We have a really good time doing making up a team for Seattle. So, last night, um, I'll let you go into it first. I got my take. I'll go with you. Did you watch the whole game last night? Were you able to watch the whole game last night?
yeah, I watched a little bit of it, here and there. You know, I was talking about before we jumped on the show here about how, if the team scores first, usually they win the game, and it seems to be like that way in this series. Golden Knights win the first game, and it seemed like the Canadiens were on the back pedal. Even though the Canadiens didn't have that bad of a night in game one, they played a lot better here in game two with Jet Petrie stepping into the lineup, and oh my lord, those red eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
When I first seen the picture, I was like, "Is this like a meme? Is this
yeah,
photoshopped?" And then I turned on Sportsnet and I seen his red eyes, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, well." um, but I really enjoyed the way that the Canadians played from their top line. Like analytically, that top line was amazing. Caulfield didn't do too great, but Toffoli, Suzuki played amazing defensively and offensively. Gallagher was amazing. Petrie actually had a really good night as well. And I think that was such a big key guy that they needed back in the lineup was Jet Petrie because he just changes that defensive core entirely. Gives them a bit of a guy that can move that puck way better than anyone else on that defensive core, and still a little, makes a good defensive pairing. I think it's alongside of Sherratt, right? Or is it Edmondson that he plays alongside of?
Who's that? Petrie?
Petrie.
I think it's Edmondson. I could be wrong about that, but keep on talking and I'll let you know. I'll go check it out.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but um, you know, Petrie is such a huge guy to have back in your lineup, and he looked like he was playing back at full force as well. And it was surprising me. Vegas did turn it back on near the end, though. Petrangelo with 2 goals to end it off there in the game, but Price shut the door down. Played, I think, better than Fleury in this game, and I think that was the biggest story. And the fact that the Canadians scored the first goal, and I think that's the way that it's going to be throughout this series. Whoever scores the first goal will probably win the game.
Mm. Edmondson, yeah, it's Edmondson. Sherratt plays with Weber most of the time.
Yeah, and then plus, yeah, the Oilers aren't winning the cup this year. I know we got swept.
Yeah.
I'm cheering for the Isles
Goose,
anyways, man. I'm on your
Gustafson and
side.
Merrill as their 5-6 though, really.
Oh, Gustafsson, Merrill had a horrible night.
Yeah.
Horrible night. Uh, Gustafsson actually has not been that bad. I
I
know we
have to
were.
admit it, he
I
hasn't been that bad. I'm really.
No, I know, and it's kind of surprising for us to say that because we were saying during the season that he was going to be a complete bust for the
Yeah,
Canadiens, and wouldn't you know it, he's just been absolutely amazing for not
amazing, but
amazing, but he's
in
been
comparison to what he
decent.
has been, yeah. Uh,
I think it's because the
maybe, but he
less
had
minutes
less
factor
minutes
I think has
in
been.
Calgary, and he still sucked. But it's Calgary, so you really can't. That's
It is
Calgary.
Calgary.
He hasn't really been where he is now since he's been in Chicago, and that's what everybody's been trying to find in him. As far as Petrie and the eyes, um, I had those. I've had those. When you broke when
Isn't it from like
broke a
painkillers?
broken nose, you can get that. But it looks like to me he had migraine problems. So maybe you're right. It's something to do with
Maybe he was pain.
what's that?
Maybe it was the pain from the hands, and then he took some
Or something.
painkillers because of his hand that was hurting so much, and then it just made his
Yeah, I
eyes
don't know, but apparently his
so
wife
red.
says it was way worse a week ago. Like, would be something. Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. His wife said it was way worse a week ago. But I had that when I broke my nose a couple times in fights and stuff, and it not that happens. But it didn't look like he broke his nose, so uh, I thought maybe it was migraine so bad that it was causing actual like tension bleeding, something like that.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm no doctor,
He's a
but
warrior, though. I give it to him. He's a warrior, playing almost
yeah.
21 minutes of ice time alongside Edmonton. He was
There,
a warrior out there for the
there
the
was one
Canadiens.
picture of him where they showed where he actually put his hands up like this, and he went like if somebody had a really bad headache or something, and he went like that. So
Hmm.
maybe I my guess is correct. It
And
is
I
some sort of
I've
migraine
I've played
problem.
hockey. I played hockey with headaches before, and it
Oh yeah,
sucks. It
yeah,
sucks. It is the worst thing because like you'll go on the ice, you won't feel too bad, and then you'll feel it because it's cold on the ice, but then you're also heating up at the same time with you skating so much, and then you breathing heavy is just putting so much
yeah,
pressure on your brain. And if you already have a headache or a migraine, it's just gonna hurt so much more going throughout that entire
yeah.
game. And especially in NHL hockey, it probably feels 10 times worse.
Yeah, taking a hit or whatever, everything goes like haywire. Yeah, I've had that. Yeah, that'd be
Hmm.
pretty crazy. So yeah, then you know, like always, our great people in the chat always bring up some great topics. Lauren again says that losing Stevenson at the last second doesn't help. I mean that Vegas is
Oh
Vegas.
yeah.
We've talked about it before the season started. It was our main concern with Vegas was their depth up the middle. Stevenson has found a niche to be able to play. I still don't think ultimately you want Stevenson being on your top line, but it's he's the best option they have, and he's gone now. And they tried Roy up there, and that was not good. I don't.
Yeah, like Stevenson's decent. Like I think the reason why they put Stevenson up on the top line is because he plays so well alongside of Pacioretty and
Yeah,
Stone. Like Stevenson really solidifies that line with Pacioretty and Stone. Would they like a better centerman?
for
Oh
sure.
yeah, probably. But they do have Krebs and Glass coming on the way, and those two guys look sick
Well,
coming up the
I would say
future for
Krebs
that
does. I'm not
Golden Knights
so.
team.
I'm not sure about Glass now. I'm a little concerned about Glass.
Cody Cody Glass is still he's
Yeah,
still young
he
though.
could still
He
be
he has
okay.
dealt
Don't
with a
get me
couple
wrong, but I
injuries.
have question marks where I didn't before. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I think he will be okay as well. I don't think he'll be
Yeah.
fantastic, but with dealing with injuries, and he didn't do too bad in the AHL. 10 points in
That's
14
not bad.
games.
That's pretty good.
Even this year, 10 points in 27 games just hasn't got a lot of playoff time. He's gonna be what 20? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
22. You know, I think he's still gonna be a
Yeah.
decent player, but he's going to be, I think he's going to be a nice two-way forward for that top line, someone to replace Stevenson. But if Krebs turns out to be better, which I think Krebs will, he's been
Yeah.
absolutely sick over these past
Mm-hmm.
little bit, and yeah,
Yeah, I think Krebs will be better too. I'm not sure Krebs is going to play the middle though. I think they have him lined up more for a
he
winger.
might play
Yeah.
the wing.
So
Mm.
drafting centerman is going to be on the they're really got to look at getting a centerman there. May not be this may be the worst center depth to ever win a cup. If they did win a cup, for I can't imagine there's a
Well,
team
Peyton
that in
Krebs
history that had a worse center depth than Vegas.
Krebs does play a bit of
He
centerman
does.
though.
Yeah.
Does say on Elite Prospects that he does play, but who knows? Maybe they'll play him between both wing and center because they definitely need some better center depth coming off that center court because it is really
Yeah.
weak, right? Like you're playing Matthias Janmark as your
Mm,
center, and also Keegan Colasar also as one of your centermen
yeah.
as well, with Carlson and Nicholas Roy and Roy playing on your top line.
Yeah.
That is, it's pretty
Kolasar
bad. You
eventually
definitely don't
took
want
that
something like
top line
that.
role in the second half of the game, and I mean that's just not ideal, right?
No, it really isn't. Like you want somebody better to, be on that
Yeah.
line. Um, missing out Nosek and Chandler Stevenson. Those are the two injuries you don't want
Yeah.
happening to
Yeah.
your team.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
Like you're losing two of your greatest centers. Like your next up is what Patrick Brown is
Yeah.
your next centerman that you could
And
use, but he's AHLer.
he played
Like
last night, and I mean,
I don't know. I do think Vegas will win this series. I do think that. I thought it since the beginning because I just think Vegas just has that team, but they definitely need some future. They definitely need center depth going into next year
They
for
gotta hope
sure.
Stevenson comes back though, because that's
Oh,
what
they
is it
got to.
with
They
Montreal
gotta hope.
knocking out the top line centers of every freaking team they play. Like we're
I don't know,
second,
man.
well, to Toronto, I guess it was second, but still extremely important centers.
Montreal's on a run right now. Analytically, they won both of those two games. Like, I mean, the first game was 50-50 between Vegas and Montreal, but Montreal didn't do terribly in that first game. They just weren't able to, shut it down and, score goals. This game, they were able to score goals. They were able to shut down Vegas a decent amount, even though Vegas was making a bit of a comeback. They were able to shut them down a decent amount. I think Vegas has to play way better than what they did last night. That's the biggest thing out of last night's game is that they have to play way better because I remember watching them and I'm like, man, this is not Vegas. Why are they playing so sloppy? Why when they carry it up into the neutral zone they lose it right away? Because I seen that they were carrying it up and then they would legit hand it to the Canadians in the neutral zone every single time, and I was wondering why Vegas was
I
doing that and why were they playing such a slow game
Well,
last
part of
night.
the reason was, and this is what I wanted to get into first. In the first period, Montreal did something that I didn't see coming, and I'm sure Vegas didn't see coming. They out Vegas
Hmm.
Vegas. They played a super aggressive neutral zone
Hmm.
positioning. Like they were daring them to do stretch passes and go, like there was a way to get around them. It's a dangerous thing to do because you are going to give breakaways away playing the way they were playing. But they just came
Yeah.
out and just were totally aggressive through the neutral. It wasn't really a trap. It was a anticipation, high intensity, top of the neutral zone, push them into the
It
offensive
was like
zone
a
type system that can burn the
uh
heck out of you if people know it's coming.
yeah.
But Vegas did
It's like
not know it
a
was coming. And they,
it was like a neutral zone trap. Like they would trap them up in the neutral zone, making sure like they would have to dump and chase it. But there was always a defenseman or Carey Price to pick up that puck in the Canadian zone. Like there was very few times where the Golden Knights got that puck in cleanly, and it wasn't like the two goals that Vegas scored was off of a faceoff. I think one of them was because of an icing from Edmondson, and both of them were
yeah,
face-off
Peter Angelo.
wins, and that was it for
Mm-hmm.
Vegas.
Yeah,
And Vegas needs to score goals off the rush if they want to be able to win these types of games. They can't just be scoring goals off the face-off because that's what they were even doing in game one, scoring a lot of goals off that
yeah. I
face-off.
just was really surprised the Canadians decided to play that aggressive against the Vegas team that has the with the part tools that they do, but they took them
It's
so
ballsy.
much by surprise that it worked for like the first over half of the
Hmm.
first period. And then they went back into more of their own game after they potted a couple. Like you said, when they score a couple, they go back into their own game and then rely on Price quite a bit. It was just like you said, really ballsy play, and it was. I
Hmm.
don't think they want to try that again. Let's put it that way. They tried. They pulled that
No.
rabbit out of their hat once. I don't. You try that against Vegas, I think you're in big trouble. And that's
Oh
you
yeah.
notice one thing last night was uh, Vegas was iced the puck like 9 or 10 times because they're not really a dump and they don't like to dump and chase, but they tried it and they were trying to pass it up and then tip it in and chase it, right? But they were
Hmm.
missing like totally missing it because it's not their what they normally do. So Montreal pushed them outside of their comfort zone.
They did. And that's what Montreal has to do with the Golden Knights. They gotta push them out of their comfort zone, and I think Montreal just gotta keep doing what they did. Continue pressuring them, play a different game. You gotta do whatever you can to beat the Vegas Golden Knights. You're the underdogs. You're the team that was not supposed to be here, and you're here against the Golden Knights and playing a pretty confident game against the Knights as well. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised every series I watch the Canadians. I'm like, all right, I don't think that they'll win this game, and then they'll win it. It surprises me every time what Montreal has been able to do in this playoffs and how well they were able to play against the Golden Knights in these past two games, where I thought they played pretty decent. It's surprising. And I think they even play a better physical game than the Golden Knights. And we have not said that about any of the series. I mean, Minnesota was physical, but Golden Knights was just a tougher team. Same with Colorado. Golden Knights were just a tougher team. But now it seems like, yes, Golden Knights have Ryan Reeves, but Montreal has Edmondson. They have Anderson. They have Gallagher. They have Perry. Stahl was even getting in the greasy points. They have Sherratt. This team has so many greasy players compared to one and Ryan Reeves and
Stone,
maybe Colasar,
Stone.
maybe a couple of those other
I
guys.
think they got guys
Stone.
that can do it against that Montreal team. I think they have the guys to do
Oh
it.
yeah.
But they like I said, I think they were just totally surprised by what Montreal was
Hmm.
doing, and it takes a while for a whole team to go, oh crap! Now what do we do? We didn't plan for this. I don't think DeBoer thought Montreal was going to come out like that at all. I don't think anybody there thought that they were going to come out and play that type of way. Like basically, there's a whole lot of psychology to that too because Montreal's
Hmm.
coming out and Austin says here that Vegas came in overly confident. And you could
Oh
be
yeah.
right about that for sure. And if you are coming in overly confident, as Austin says, and a team comes and basically plays your game against you when they really don't have the players to be playing that game, they don't compared to Vegas.
Hmm.
They don't have the speed like that. They don't have the tucks. And, like Tuck is a greasy guy too. They're big and strong and fast, and they hit hard. They don't try. They don't.
Hmm.
They don't play as dirty as guys like Perry and Sherrod and stuff like that. But they do. They have that. They don't. So they didn't expect it to happen, and they didn't know what to do when it did. I think if Montreal tried that again, they'd have a much better plan against it. And I think ultimately Vegas is going to come up going to now. I don't know what more Montreal has in their bag of tricks. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Nothing will surprise me now if they do that. If they're willing to do that,
No.
where are they going to go from here? Yeah, that's what.
I don't know. They could go in so many directions, and they could totally surprise us, and defeat the Golden Knights and go off to the finals. Price is gonna have to play big. That's gonna be the biggest thing. But I don't know how many big, like you were saying, I don't know how many bags of tricks this
Yeah,
team has. They pulled off one tonight. They have to pull off another three. And then, of course, if they were able to win the Stanley Cup, but they got a long road ahead of them. And this is a big game that they won in Vegas. In Vegas,
yeah.
they won. And that's
This
huge
was
for
a
them.
huge game because I think they've
This
got a
was
huge advantage in the
tremendous.
next game. The next game was the one that I really thought Vegas was going to have a tough time to win. Right?
3,500 fans in Montreal is going to sound
I think
pretty
it's
loud
30.
once you
They
get into
said 3,500.
Montreal.
They're going up 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they went up by 1,000. So 3,500 fans in the arena there. for the Habs. That's going to be great for them, and they're going to be using those fans to energize those players. And if Montreal could take the momentum from what they had in this game into the next game, they could be a really strong team. But I really, I, I have a problem saying that I don't see it because every time I say it, I don't see the Canadians doing going very far. The Canadians
Yeah,
go far.
yeah,
And I don't even want to say anything about this team now because every time I say something about them, they just prove me wrong. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do actually good,
yeah.
Peyton. We're gonna actually
You
have
know
this team
why?
do
Because
good,"
they're
and
listening
prove
to
me
the
wrong.
stream, right? We're just ticking them
They
off,
must be.
right? Who
And I'm
who
just ticking
wouldn't
them
be? I
off.
mean, but uh, but last night when talking about streams, I was doing with Off the Wall John last night, which is always a treat. He was doing the play by play, and I was doing the analysis, I guess, whatever. I don't know, but
The
yeah, I
color,
guess, yeah, just basically
the
saying crap in between him talking. And I said to begin with, I said I'm not going to underestimate Montreal, but I'm already doing it. I don't think Montreal. I think Montreal's going to be done in five and all that kind of stuff. And they come out and play like they play, and I'm sitting there going, what? I thought they were going to come out and do it and trap them or something because Minnesota did that twice, right? And maybe they
hmm
do this next game, but I don't know because the next game, the reason why I think they had the greater advantage is both of them are going to be traveling across three time zones now today, right? To go play that game. Three time zones, all of that stuff like that. They're at home, so that may take the legs away from Vegas a little bit. And Vegas is a faster team. There's no doubt about that. They have
I think it did. Even Montreal, like they did sweep the Jets, but even when they traveled over to Vegas, they looked a little bit exhausted when they first went over there.
That is what I still want to know. I talked about that on the stream last night, and I don't know where to get that information. But why in the world would they had a week? You would think 3 days before they would have flew to Vegas, right? They can bring their own. They have 3 days before, get all the jet lag and all that out and play the game. But it didn't look like that in the first game to me that they did that.
And I think that's you're gonna well, I think you might be seeing that a lot until they kind of get comfortable. You might see a lot of jet lag, especially going into game three. You might see a bit of jet lag between both teams. It might take them a little while to kind of get their legs to moving. But it's a far way to travel. Like you're practically going from all the way from
Oh
the
yeah,
Pacific Division to Montreal. Like it's across. It's from the Pacific time or Pacific all the way over to
yeah.
Eastern. And that's a solid what I think Vegas. I think
It's
I don't know
basically
if they're the
across
same time
Canada.
as us,
It's like the same as going right
but
across Canada, pretty much.
it's going to be a challenge I think for Vegas because this is going to be the first time that they're having to deal with this type of time
Yeah.
zone. They dealt with a little bit of Colorado, but I mean, that's really it. Now you're gonna have to go and travel the farthest you've ever had to travel to
Mm-hmm.
Montreal. And Montreal's had to deal with this type of travel
Yeah.
already, right? So we'll have to see what they do. It's going to be an exciting game three, I think, between the Knights and the Canadians. And honestly, I'm not underestimating anyone anymore between the Canadians or the Knights. I think anyone could take this series.
Uh, yeah. I'm just gonna say that I still want. I'm rooting for Vegas. My heart is with Vegas, and my head says they should win.
Yeah,
But
same here. I think Vegas should win
Montreal
too.
can be. Montreal already showed us what they can do. Okay, so the next part of the title, Islanders' turn. So it's here we are in Long Island after doing the Islanders doing what I'm sure they're very happy enough with getting a split in Boston, in Tampa Bay. Um, this is a bit of a travel, I suppose, as well, actually, but you're gonna have that Islander fan base, which is sorry, Tampa Bay fans out there, but you really got to learn a little bit from Islanders fans. These guys are absolutely off the chain. And
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they
they
are.
are fantastic. So it's this is sort of the same little thing. I mentioned it when I sent it to my patrons today. This is like a match of the minds. People don't give Cooper really a lot of credit for how brilliant of a coach he is as well. And this is a
Mhm.
strategy. This is almost like a chess game to me. What do you think about that?
I think so too. I remember watching it. Like you watched the first game, and it was really tight defensive game, very Trot sort of style. And then the next game, it was like Lightning was really, they were dominating the ice out there, and they were playing their type of game. And even last game, I mean, I was excited by last game's physicality level was just a step above. And now going into tonight, I am gonna love this game. I can't wait to see like what Lauren's saying, expecting like at least two fights. I don't know if we're gonna see a lot of fights, but I feel like we're gonna see a lot of greasy stuff go on once again, and especially with those Islanders fans in the stands, it's gonna be a nutty night. But it without a doubt it is a chess match between these two guys in Trotz and Cooper. Both of these guys are intelligent coaches. They faced each other before. They know each
Mm-hmm.
other. It's about making those right moves and trying to have that checkmate over your other partner. And I think that's the biggest thing going into tonight. Who is gonna get that next checkmate, and who is gonna pull away with that 2-1
Yeah,
series lead?
I think the Islanders are really doing a good job of kind of turning this into a gritty type of game as well. I think that
Yeah.
suits them more. It's going to take away the flow of the game, and the more you can do that against Tampa Bay, the better it is. Tampa Bay is a flow team. It's built from some fantastic puck possession defense and
Hmm.
transitional defense that they have there. And it seems like Tampa doesn't mind falling into it a little bit. Maybe getting them. It's a way to get themselves engaged after really, I think, being fairly unengaged for the whole season. They're trying to get engaged, and the Islanders are like, okay, let's do that. That plays more into. I think that plays more into the Islanders' hands in a lot of ways for the type of style of game they have. It,
But you know what? Even though Islanders did play a very physical game, and that game too was all physicality, Tampa Bay did pull away with that
mm-hmm.
victory. Even though that game was just all greasy
Yeah,
stuff, the Islanders did lose that game. Even though the referee was kind of not very good, but I mean that's been the entire playoffs.
yeah. I got to say this one thing too first. Before that, I got to do a little Perlo dance here and give out a Perlo necklace to Serrano,
Ooh,
who was not only the only
woo!
one to take the halves last night and is in the chat,
Wow,
also took the score as well. Boom, nailed it, 3-2.
wow,
Yeah. So
wow! Nailed it!
yeah, did he have an OT though? No, he. Oh no, see, I'm sorry. CL had the halves too, but he got the score and he nailed it. Boom. Woo, Joey. Everybody get some hype in the chat for Joey Serrano again. The legend. The legend is already, we're making the statue up for you, Joey, that'll be placed in the Perlo Hall of Fame whenever that's built. Probably the same time the wall is built, but that's okay. Let's.
Probably.
So, anyways, we are. I think so. This series tonight, he says there's going to be fights. Could be. I don't. I don't know how much Tampa Bay wants to keep on engaging like this with the Islanders. I know they did win that game. They did win that game, and they Tampa played really well. They definitely changed things up. They weren't passing as much through
Yeah.
the neutral zone as they were before. But in the third period, they went back to it again. They love to pass
Hmm.
to make that long pass through the neutral zone and force the other teams to keep their defense back, right? But in the Islanders, that's very
Hmm.
difficult to do. But I found that in the second half of the game, they went away from it. They played more of a rugby style to get into the zone uh, in the first period and a bit, and then they started going back to their original plan and maybe their actual game, what tore apart Carolina, was that one first pass because they've got so many defensemen that can make that pass, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, without a doubt. You know, this I'm just, I absolutely love this series every moment I watch it. I think Semyon Varlamov will be in the net again once again too, after taking that huge hit from Brain Point the other night where Pellick pushed it into him. But Lightning's defense, if you were talking about that, right? The
Yeah,
Lightning
yeah, yeah, yeah.
defense. Okay, slip of mine there. Yeah, Lightning's defense, I've been really enjoying it. They need to keep playing that simple game that they were playing last year, or yeah, especially this entire playoffs. And you're right to get into the flow of the game. That's the biggest thing Tampa Bay needs to do is getting into that physicalness. I don't know if they want to do it like you were saying. Don't know if they want to get back into it. I think they can. They got the physicality to do it. Ross Colton's been playing a great physical game. Same with Coleman, and yes, they do play a speedier game. But once you get into the playoffs, you got to start playing that physical stuff. And they got a lot of physical guys from Cernak to Maroon, and this is also one of another great teams like built with a ton of great warriors. And I think I'm gonna have the Islanders win
Yeah,
this
I
one.
have the Islanders winning this
I'm
one
gonna go with the
too,
Islanders.
as well.
I'm gonna go three to
Okay,
two.
well, we
It's gonna be a tight check and score. I feel it's gonna be a tight game, but with the fans, I feel like it's just gonna be something totally different there in New York, and the roof is gonna be blown up. Like it's gonna be blown off with how crazy that these fans are. I think the Islanders take it 3-2.
okay. So get your picks out there if you want to in the chat. Kenny R, welcome. Uh,
And yes, I did see that Zach Hyman will not be coming back to the Leafs. Yeah, well, it's not officially done. That's the thing. Don't believe all the contract rumors just yet until it's actually he's signed to another team. Because, man, the amount of times I've seen that Nuge won't be coming back, I've heard that multiple times, and now the rumors are going back up with him signing with the team. So you really never know until free agency day actually hits and Zach Hyman's on the open market. But even then, who knows? Um, but I hope that you know, I would not mind Zach Hyman in Edmonton, but I don't know if it was just the All Star push that he got that made him super good with Matthews. Analytically, he hasn't been too bad. I would love him in Edmonton, just not at a horrible
who's that?
contract. Zach Hyman.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the top line. I don't think he's that offensively. He's more of a third line, second line tweener guy to
Well,
throw up a utility guy,
18,
a
18,
utility
19,
guy.
2018, 2018, 19. Which line did he? I think he's been playing almost every year
Yeah,
with
he's
at
been playing up
Matthews,
with that
right?
top line, and he's good for that type of line. Grind it out, get in the corners, make some room,
He's great
get the front. Oh,
defensively
he's a good defensive player for
this
sure,
year.
no doubt about it.
This year he was great
Yeah,
defensively.
yeah, he is great defensively. There's no doubt about that. 3-2. What did you got, Islanders, right? Yeah.
3-2
What do we
Islanders. Yep.
got here? Um, hey, Avatar, welcome to the live, man. Sweet.
Hey.
Uh, although I like that 3-2 score, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 4-2 Islanders. Um, yeah, we can go on talking about that Hyman. Hyman, I mean, he's a good utility guy. I just don't want. I wouldn't want to get too crazy with the salary, like you're saying. Like if somebody is out there offering him
No,
6 million, I guess they can have him. I'm not paying 6 million for Hyman.
I've seen that a lot. I've seen even people make like cap. Well, analytically, Hyman's great, and I think he could potentially be a really good player alongside of McDavid. The problem is with free agency, you tend to pay players $1 million over than what they are worth. Like Zach Hyman's probably worth. He gets you about 40 points a year, plays really strong defensive game, probably between $4 to $5 million. That's the amount I would give him.
Avatar. Yeah, about 4 to 5. That's exactly where it is right there. I think he'll probably get 5. He'll probably get something like Pajot got, even though he's not a center.
I think I think most likely he'll probably get around 6 mil.
Well, I mean, if
I
he
feel
gets
like
six
someone
from
will pay him
somebody,
big
then
dollars.
he's not an Edmonton Oiler. I don't think. No, that's a little
No,
that's too rich.
but I've been hearing Hyman is one of the big guys that I was hearing that the Oilers are definitely going to be targeting this upcoming offseason. That's their biggest fish. I think they're going after because they need a left winger to play alongside of McDavid and Puljujärvi, and Hyman would be that guy. Now, I would not want him to pay him 6 million, maybe like a Pajot sort of deal. I wouldn't mind that. Um, I think the max probably for Hyman would be 5.5. For me,
Yeah,
the max would
and
be
and I'm
5.5.
humming and hawing about that because that's a utility guy. I don't know. It just seems a little rich to me. He's not going to get more points than he had. Unless if
Now,
you're
if I
putting him
was
on
doing
with McDavid and Draisaitl, he's gonna get the same amount of points he did with Matthews and Marner, and he plays a
now
good role. I just think at 6 million, that's still
if
pretty rich. You could get a guy that has can supply a little more offense at 6 million. I think
Yeah, I think the only way that I would sign him at 6 million if it was like a 2 to 3 year deal, right? Like just
super
a
short.
short term deal
Yeah.
for the guy. Yeah, super short. You don't want to be signing this guy to 5, 6 years
Yeah,
at six
I would
million
rather
dollars,
go to the
even at five
Islanders and
point five.
drop a late pick for Bailey or something at 4.5 than take him at 6. They're both the same kind
Even
of
at
player.
Bailey, Bailey
Same kind of player.
analytic. Oh, Josh Bailey is he's Bailey's good. He's decent defensively compared to Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman's better defensively, but Bailey's not that great offensively compared to
I
Hyman
think if
is
you played
analytically.
Bailey in a position better than where he gets to the Islanders in a system that's different than that, he'd be better than Hyman. I really do. I think his when look what he look check out his look what he played with
Well, I mean,
Tavares. He put up huge numbers with Tavares.
oh hell,
And if he can do that with
well,
Tavares, he
eighteen
can
nineteen is the last year I
certainly do
got.
that with McDavid. And you're getting him at a cheaper rate.
He didn't do well. Yeah, like what 5 million? I think
Four
it
and a
is for
half,
Josh Bailey. I think
four.
no
Is it
5 mil,
5 mil?
5 mil,
Yeah.
5 mil to 2024. See, that's the problem I would have with Bailey is that he is going downhill.
He's a
Like
little
he's
older.
been going
He's a little
downhill,
older.
and he's a little older, and that contract's until 2024. See, I wouldn't mind Bailey, but the problem is you would have to get that salary cap retained. It
He'd
just
still
would
be a
be too
good third
expensive.
liner by that time, and that 5 mil is not going to look so bad. I don't know. I think he's got more
I
offense than
don't
Hyman if he's put in the right position. It's just he has a different role in it.
the thing with Bailey is more of a passer. I think
That's true.
Zach Hyman just fits. He fits better than what Bailey would because we have a lot of
That's true. He
passers.
is
We
he
got
is
way
more of
too
a
many
passer.
passers on the team. You look at Bailey, he's never really hit 20 goals ever in his career. Well, Zach Hyman's already had two consecutive not this year, but he would have if the season was 82 games. He actually would have probably hit career highs if this year was extended to 82 because this year he had 33 points in 43 games. He was really solid for the Leafs.
Hey, hockey.
The 2 years before that he had 20 goals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this
Hey,
then. Okay, we're sitting here spitballing saying Hyman's going to get 6. Okay. So what does
yeah.
Palmieri get?
Oh,
If
Palmieri, because
Hyman's getting
he
6, I know probably there's going, analytically speaking, Hyman might even be overall a better player. But that's not what
yeah.
people are going to look at. That's not going to be. The
No,
Calgary Flames
Carl
will probably give
Palmieri.
him 8 million or something
The thing is, Carl Palmieri didn't have the greatest year this
until the
year.
playoffs.
He's had a until the playoffs, and that's what's going to get him
Yeah,
overpaid.
probably.
That's what's going to get him overpaid because this guy is probably, I would say, 4.5 $5 million player, a little bit less than what Zach Hyman would probably be because he's a veteran. Probably people would pay him because he's good on the power play, great on the power play.
Yeah,
Analytically, this year he was horrible
yeah. He's a
defensively,
bad
but
defensive
he was
player.
playing on the New Jersey Devils. Last year he was amazing
Oh, was he? Yeah, I don't know.
defensively. This guy is a 4.5, maybe even a bit less. 4.25 around Toffoli's range. That's what I would put for Palmieri. Is
Well,
around
that's what I'm
Toffoli's
saying.
range of
I
money that
don't
he's
think so.
making right.
If somebody's going to give Zach Hyman 6, somebody's going to give Palmieri more than that. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, if Zach Hyman gets 6, I could see Palmieri getting 5 to $5.5 million. I could see that because that's the market, right? Palmieri deserves probably around 4.25, 4.5, but in the free agency market, he probably is $5.56 million.
Hockey News Reports is saying that he's missing your streams a lot, but you can't do streams yet.
No, I will not be able to do any streams probably until August. August is when I'll should be able to start
Oh
doing some
shoot,
live
that's
streams
too
again.
bad. That's a long ways away. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, so you're
Yeah.
just gonna
Yeah.
have to settle for the
My
goat,
little bit of
and
content.
I'm going, and my as well.
Hmm.
Get your concurrent viewers up to 100 so I can get out of this little pad and I'll start doing streams at night too. That would help. Uh, yeah. So thanks for everybody for coming in, and make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. I
Hmm.
Swerve says this is something to talk about for the next 8 minutes, I guess, before we go into Seattle stuff. Something I don't necessarily agree with, but I've heard a lot of people say that players get paid too much in today's NHL, and I'm like, no, they get paid they
They
get paid
deserve
what
the
they get
money.
paid.
They deserve even more. Do you see what
Yeah,
NBA players make? And they barely do anything. Like, not saying that NBA is
right.
easy, but compared to what hockey is, hockey, McDavid, the most player, he's being paid $12.5 million. Then you got like Harden and all those guys that are making like $50 to $7 million a
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
right? Like, I think that, players that play
I
hockey
don't think
deserve to
he's
get a
talking about
paycheck,
hockey. I think
even
he's
if
talking about sports in general. And as far as I'm concerned, if you can get 30,000 people to watch you do whatever you do, you deserve whatever you get. I don't
Mhm.
really care. That's
Oh
that's the way
man,
I look
if
at it.
you Milan
Even if you're
Lucic,
playing
he was a great
tiddlywinks
player.
or whatever,
No,
I don't care what you're doing. If you get 30,
he might not be the greatest contract for Lucic right
yeah,
now, that 5.25, but he's making hella dollar. He's probably enjoying that
sure,
five
good
point
for
two
him.
five
You
million
gotta
dollars,
get what you can get. Do you
right?
think
Like, good
any of
for
the
him.
owners
It
are out
sucks
there
that he's on
not
that
getting what they
contract.
can get? They didn't get there by not getting what they can get. They're getting what they can get. It's just the way the world works. So if you can get it, and
But
not
also,
only
like,
that, I tried to make the NHL. I know what you got to do to get to the NHL.
it's
First of all,
hard.
just the talent. Okay, one thing. Talent is one thing, but the the time and the losing your social life and all basically devoting your life to to anything you do, and the level of commitment and strength and all of those things that people put into it and everything that they do, man, it is ridiculous.
It's
And
hard.
it's you're doing it not knowing what's going to happen. You may not make the NHL. You go to Europe where, you're still doing okay. You maybe only play in the AHL. Like, you're devoting your life to a big risk, and if it comes, I think you deserve every penny you get and more. I think they should be able to get.
I
I
think
would
so
love to
too.
see the cap be gone and guys getting like baseball type money and all that kind of stuff like that. But I also like having a team in Edmonton because I don't even know if the Oilers could compete with that.
I like the salary cap. I think when there was no salary cap, there were so many stacked teams like
Yeah, it was just
Detroit for the
unfair.
longest time
It's a
just
little
spent
unfair. Yeah.
endless money. And I think baseball doesn't have no salary cap, and I would have to say
Luxury tax.
baseball is probably, yeah, it is it is you could see when a team is broke. You know when your
Yeah,
team is
Pittsburgh
broke and doesn't have
Pirates.
it very much money because you can watch the Yankees and then you can look at the Blue Jays and be like, "Oh man, I wish I could have Garrett Cole and all those guys, but my team would never
Yeah,
afford any of
yeah,
those guys." And that's why I really enjoyed the salary cap. I wish the salary cap was higher.
yeah. I do
I
too.
wish that these
I
players could
wish
get
there was
paid
a.
more.
I'd
I
like to see
wish.
a form of a luxury tax, just a better form than baseball. I think baseball's is a little
Yeah.
out of whack, but a little
Oh,
better
yeah.
form of luxury tax that can help the teams lower. Like, basically, I like it this way: for a luxury tax, if a team decides to go over the cap, they pay a big tax on that, And what happens is the teams with less money not able to do that, they are able to apply
Hmm.
that to their cap. So if you
Yeah.
take a player, you're actually making the lower teams with the lower caps abilities stronger, something like that. I don't know if that would ever
Hmm.
work, but I mean it's a good start, something like that.
Also, Lauren, you're perfect on that. No cap era. Big market teams could just offer sheet small market teams like it
Oh
was
yeah,
nothing for RFAs and dominate the league. Like Sebastian Aho, Montreal would have probably been able to scoop Sebastian Aho right up
oh
if there
yeah,
was
for
no
sure.
cap.
Yeah,
They probably would have
there
paid him
would
like
be no Carolina.
$12 million plus.
There would be no Carolina.
Yeah,
The,
and Swerve, you bring up a perfect point. Like the Oakland A's, I think I can't even remember, but I know like during the Moneyball, it was like Yankees had like what was it, like $200 million in like their payroll, while the Oakland A's had like 80 million in their
Oakland's payroll's
payroll, right?
$1,000.
Like,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I seen that. That's but the way that baseball does it, like baseball still needs a lot of things to rejuvenate that league right now. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of things happen there, but with hockey, I wish the salary cap goes up. I don't think you will ever see a cap era ever again. But I think sooner or later that salary cap will hit 100 million and it'll just
yeah,
keep growing. The NHL is growing
yeah,
even more every single day, and I'm excited
yeah.
to see where everything goes, especially with this
Getting
cap
big
era.
ESPN contracts is a good start on that for sure. So
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's huge.
it
I'm
is.
excited for the future of hockey, and I don't know about you, but I am actually a big Bettman fan. I think people that uh,
Oh, the NHL
I
has
think
grown
Bettman's done a
tremendously.
heck of a job with the NHL.
It went from a sport where barely anybody talked about it, and a lot of people still. I see a lot of people that say that this is not a
Mm.
sport, which um
Well, we lost you. Okay, you're back.
like
Okay, you're not back.
in the basketball and I just love the NHL for its grittiness and its toughness
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
from people should watch it a lot. If you've never tried it, some of the funnest things on the ice. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm here. Am I back?
Let's go out. That's why. Okay.
Greetings. This is Steel Flyers from the Steel Flyers All Sports Network, and we have two very special guests. We are delighted to be joined by Tracy Musser and Nicole Howard from the Canine Country Club Resorts. Tracy and Nicole are both managers for CCC Resorts and work at the Windsor or at the club, one of two locations both in Manheim, Pennsylvania. Congratulations on your 30th year anniversary of being in business. Let me start off by saying this. Steel Flyer stands behind this company 100%. Taken care of Steel Flyer's furry friend for the last 2 years now, and they are a one-stop shop for everything your furry friend needs. In fact, let's find out what our friends at CCC Resorts offer. Nicole, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. What are some of the great boarding services that you guys offer, and what do we have to do in order to get our furry friends taken care of when we are unable to travel with them?
Well, we like to bring everybody in for a tour first. That way they can see the behind the scenes, they can see where they stay, they can see where they play, and then we explain all of the fun things that we can add on to their reservation, whether it be one of our packages, either a nature walk, a ball time, or even a cuddle time.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Boy, it sure sounds like a resort to me. So, how are you today, Tracy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Tracy, tell me, is it true that you guys have both an indoor and an outdoor pool at the Windsor location?
It is true. We've got one of each, so we're able to offer year-round swimming. The indoor pool is a great option for dogs who are swimming for therapy or rehab. It's got that sloped entry so they can wade into the water. Our outdoor pool is a little bit larger and it's 4 foot deep the whole way across. And both of them are saltwater pools, so it's really easy on the dog's skin and coat.
Wow, that's very awesome. So then during the summer months, you have a much deeper pool outside and then a sloped entry shallow pool indoors for the dogs. Tracy, tell the folks how we can get some pool time.
Well, the first thing everyone does is come for an intro swim. We use that time to make sure the dog is comfortable in the water. We make sure they know how to get out of the pool safely, and we go over all the pool rules and etiquette with the clients as well. After that, they're able to schedule private appointments where they have the pool to themselves, or they can invite friends and have a whole group swim going on.
So after a dip in the pool, then it would have to be off to the groomers, right? I mean, our furry friends cannot go out looking their best. Nicole, what are some of the great services your top-notch groomers provide?
Our groomers, they specialize in full service grooms. We can do the basics, whether it be just a bath and a brush out or a blowout. Or for the extra pampered pooches, we can do nail dremels, we can do deodorizing soaks, and also facials.
Wow, man, that sounds like a resort if you ask me. Tracy, I know one of the main programs here at CCC Resorts is the WAGS program. The Steel Flyers dog is enrolled in this program. So why don't you tell the folks what is involved in this and how they can get enrolled?
Yeah, the WAGS program is our primary daycare option at the Windsor. It's designed to be a structured program for people who are looking for a set routine for their dog. They all come on the same days each week, which allows them to have set friends, and we know exactly what's going on with each group. So we do a little bit more activities and we build more into their daily routine there. But we've got other daycare options as well for people looking for a little less commitment. We do an hourly care where you can drop them off and just pay by the hour. We also do a day stay option, which is great for the dogs that prefer human friends instead of making friends with other dogs. And then we have a traditional daycare option as well if you're looking for the occasional outing for your dog.
Wow, there you have it. A full service groomer, a daycare program, and an indoor and outdoor pool. What more could you ask for? Sure seems like CCC Resorts has everything covered. Remember, DOG, depend on God.
Okay, sorry about that, guys.
Good right now.
We got to get Peyton
We
back again. Now we got him back. Now we're all good.
my, my internet's crap.
We'll see if it's work. If it doesn't work, then we'll just move on.
Yeah,
I'll switch over to video capture.
yeah, I'll be in the chat.
You should be okay
The chat.
though. It sounds like you sound okay now. So we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Per-
So I'll tell you what our Seattle franchise looks like right now. We got
Okay.
Cahoon, Cop, and Sprong. Then we signed Hyman as a free agent. Then we got Johnson and
Yeah. Oh
Donskoy.
yeah.
McCann,
Yeah.
Colton, and our fourth line is Frederick.
Oh, we can.
On defense, we have Mayfield.
Do
What's that?
you think McCann and do you think Pittsburgh will not protect McCann?
Yeah, when we went through it,
Because
it looked
McCann's a
like they
pretty big
wouldn't
third
be.
liner for.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go look. I'll go back and look at that again. Well, who was it that uh, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what it is, but that's where we have so far, anyways. Fleury, Mayfield,
Okay.
Stillman from Chicago, and Dunn, which they'll probably trade Dunn before we'd ever get a chance to do that. But as it stands, they probably wouldn't protect him. They wouldn't protect him. And then as it stands, Dumba's still out there,
Hmm.
so we have Dumba on the right side. And then Hudobin, Holtby, and Allen, which we're going to trade one of those goaltenders for sure for a draft pick or something like that. And in fact,
Yeah.
I think we revisit
Probably
Holtby and try to
Allen.
pick a player instead. But as it stands right now, that's what we have. And we got Colton, and we got that in a deal that we made because we took Johnson. So we got Colton and Cal Foot
Yeah.
and a pick to take Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
So that's where we're at right now. So and we're okay. So you have $500 on the Lightning. Oh, you're not gonna like us too much. We got the
Uh,
Islanders to win. So came to the wrong court to get okay. We get to get to feel good about that bet. Whitechel, welcome Whitechel. How you doing?
yep.
Uh, ML,
Welcome, bud.
$500. Wait, you're not getting
Yeah.
anything
So
ML on Tampa, are you? Or yeah, 175. Yeah, something like that. All right, yeah, all right. We'll see. I don't know. I think the Islanders might take that one, but I could be wrong. Those Canadian internet hamster wheels are brought to you by the number 99 in the letter C. Yeah, exactly. Uh, use the bow tie mic to wander.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up our window capture here. And we're going to bring up the cap friendly. And
Yeah. So for Pittsburgh, I had protected must be Getzel, Zucker, Rust, Kapanen, and McCann, and Lafferty open. Now, unless you want to protect Jeff Carter because he
no,
did
you're
have a
not protecting
really
Carter.
good season, but he's 36 years old. What's the point? And then for defense, I got Letang, Dumoulin, and then Peterson is the guy after that. So it leaves open Matt, last. I picked Tanev because that's probably the best you could go after. Brings you some physicality and brings you some extra depth to the team.
Okay, I'm going to bring up.
But McCann would have been a steal. If McCann is available,
Yeah,
if McCann was available, that would have been amazing. That
yeah. I had a hard time. I can't remember
would
when
have
it
been an
was. It was
amazing pickup.
yesterday.
Analytically, he's
Yeah, that was a long time ago. It was yesterday. So I don't remember what we were doing there. But where's my cap friendly? Are you telling me? Okay, there we go. Cap friendly. Let's get the cap friendly up here. Let's make sure people can see stuff. Okay, here we go. We won't put our faces up, I guess. We'll just go like that. And where did we get to? Okay, I'll bring up Pittsburgh for the heck of it. We'll talk about it for a little bit. I don't know what I did there, why I did that, or how I did it. To tell you the honest truth, right now, I'll take a look. Okay, there's Pittsburgh. Okay, we had Malkin, Crosby, of course, Gunsel. Um, the possibility, okay, one, two, Zucker, Tanev, one, two, three, four, five, six, and Kasperi Kapanen. Now the question is, do you keep Jason Zucker or McCann?
just
I had a
seeing
feeling that they would keep Zucker, and I don't think that's the right move, but I have a feeling they would.
no, no Zucker. I don't think they would keep Zucker because they could easily refill the wingers back up. They could easily do that, especially with Jeff Carr. They could easily was not even the Seattle Kraken into taking Jason Zucker because that would be something that I would like to get off my team. salary cap wise, especially if I
Yeah,
were
you
the
might be
Pittsburgh
right. They
Penguins.
might
That would
lose
be
Zucker
somebody
out
off the
there.
team, so
I
I could
wouldn't. I
get open up
wouldn't.
some salary cap because. Sorry,
If I
what was
was
that?
Seattle, I wouldn't take Zucker. I would, unless you give me a pick. I'm not taking Zucker.
No,
I'll take. So I hope that they do that, and
no,
then I'll. What about Marino? You got. You said you had Letang, Demelin,
Marino's not
and
available.
who?
On this one, they had Letang, Dumoulin, and Peterson. I don't. Where's
You're
Marino
leaving.
again?
You're
I
leaving
don't think
Marino
is
out
he
there.
exempt?
Yeah, you got to sell
Nope,
Marino.
Marino's exempt.
Is he?
Marino's exempt. Yeah, he's
He's played over
exempt.
2 years. What's going on there? How is he
If you go to
exempt?
Cap Friendly, if you go to the Interactive, you go to Armchair GM, he is exempt.
He didn't play enough games. Okay, well that answers that question because I was wondering that yesterday. I didn't know. So yeah, I mean, if that's the case,
Yeah.
then I would be taking. I mean, just about anybody. I think I'd end up taking Zucker, but I'm gonna get a second round pick or something stapled to him before I take it. I'll take anybody else. Zach Aston Reese. I'll take Zach Aston Reese.
Well, it's either I think either way, one of those two guys I feel like will be left exposed. I feel like they're going to keep McCann. He's too pivotal to the team, especially the way that he was analytically for the team. Defensively, he was
I
huge. He
don't
had a
think
good year for the
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
even
Penguins.
looks at
Plus,
analytics myself, but like,
no, well with Hextall and
maybe,
Bohr, probably
maybe,
not with
maybe I don't
Berkey
know.
there, probably not. But bad of a season, even if you were to just look at base stats, he didn't have the best
No, I
third
like
line there for the
McCann.
Pittsburgh
I would
Penguins
have loved
either.
to get McCann.
32 points, 23
Yeah,
games.
I just have a feeling that they'll.
Oh, he would have been great
Yeah, I don't. I have a feeling they won't see it that way, and I
for
hope I'm
Seattle.
wrong, but I have a feeling that they won't. We'll see. But if it was me, I would take. I would keep McCann over Zucker all day, for sure. But if
Oh yeah,
I'm Seattle, I'm not
without
taking Zucker. I'm
a
not
doubt.
taking Zucker. If I'm Seattle, I'm not taking him unless you're
Nope.
going to give me a second round pick or something, or another player to go with it that I like. I'm not taking him. I know it.
I don't really see very many players being pulled out of Pittsburgh, to be completely honest with you either. Like if I was Francis, I'd be looking at 10 of it. Oh, he's a decent player, but that contract's really long. I don't want that. You look at Zucker, 2 years left. It's not bad. You could swallow it, right? But he did not play very well this year. He struggled. He wasn't very good. And then you got Michael Matheson,
Well,
and
the,
no one
the
really
fact of
wants
the
him,
matter is, the way I look at it is this:
right?
even if
Like,
Zucker is okay or whatever the case may be, that has nothing to do with anything. I know you need cap space, so if you're going
mm,
to try to give me a player that has a $5 million hit on it,
yep,
you're paying for it. I don't care, or I'm not taking it. I don't need to win next year, so
yep.
I don't need to win next year.
Oh
So
yeah.
you got to make it. And if you
Well,
don't
yeah.
want
Like
to give
if
up the pick, then great. I'm
no,
not taking. You can keep the
the
cap
thing
space. That's it,
thing with
right?
the thing with Pittsburgh is that they don't got any more
They don't have what?
picks. That's the biggest
They don't, but they do
thing
have
Pittsburgh is going to have
players.
is that they got no
Yeah,
more picks.
they could have. They could give me.
Yeah,
I at least get
yeah.
Bluger out of it or something like that. I'll get more out of it than just taking the pick. I'm gonna get something more out of it than the pick. I'll get
Oh, you definitely
even if
have
it's
to
Ricola.
for Seattle. Like the thing is, they don't like. It, well, they don't have to protect Teddy Blue because he is an RFA, and so they could just tell him like, "Hey, we'll sign you out of the expansion draft if you get picked up. Then just go to free agency, and we'll sign you there." Basically, is what they do with a lot of players. They do a lot of handshake agreements with free agents, Williams and Ron Francis. They do a lot of handshake agreements. Same with the players within their free agents. You won't see a lot of players that are free agents getting impacted very much throughout every team just because it's too. You're wasting us on wasting a spot that with on that might never resign with you. So Seattle might be Bluger if he was available.
Seattle might take Zucker if I
But
don't know. I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it unless there was something staple to it. I'm going to go into every GM telling them that. Like if you got a player making over 5 and he unless I'm you're going to have to
oh,
give me something because I'm not taking it.
I wouldn't care. If I were to go to Pittsburgh and I'm looking at Zucker and he's available, I'm like, well, you
Yeah,
got to
exactly.
pay me more to take him. I'm not taking him. I'm just gonna take one of your bums like Sam. I'm just gonna take Sam Lafferty off your team. I don't care. I don't care. I'll take Makula
Yeah,
off your team for all
exactly.
I
That's what
care.
I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't need anyone special from your team. Like Zucker's a bomb, and then the rest of the players you got is nothing. Like I don't really want to be paying a guy $5.5 million a year unless you give me, a second, maybe a first next year, maybe Samuel
Yeah.
Poulin or something. You gotta
Yeah, that's
entice me with
right.
something
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
exactly right.
right?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing you got to do with Pittsburgh because there's
Yeah.
not a lot of pretty players available in this expansion draft for Seattle.
No, no. And so like, and it's Ron Francis, so you know that he's going to be building through the draft, and he's got an opportunity to just grab draft picks like freaking crazy. Like he can have like no no kidding like 20 draft picks in this year's draft at least. He could have like 4 or 5 firsts and next year too, and all that stuff like that. You can build a dynasty with that if you hit properly, you know. So, yeah, he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be all over that. I'm pretty sure. All right, what we got down to, we'll say
Oh
that
yeah,
I don't know who we got out of that. We have it at McCann now, but like all of this is going to change down the road, anyways. I think the next team we were on, we got Allen out of Montreal, um, which seems pretty likely actually.
yeah.
It seems pretty likely that they'll get Allen. You can always get a pick for him
Oh,
at the deadline. There's always
I,
going to be teams looking
I
for a goaltender like that.
Jelly again because I know there's a couple people. Sherrod and Kulak. I think I went after Brent Kulak because
Yeah, we were looking at
analytically,
Kulak
Brent
too. That
Kulak
was the
actually
guy we
looks.
were
I know he's
looking
been
at, Kulak or Allen.
scratched because now there's a lot of good defensemen, but I think Kulak would be really solid. Allen would you could I mean there's guys that you could possibly pick from. I think who did I followed you on that while picking Anton Kudobin. And I also picked Vitek and also Aiden Hill from
Yeah, we didn't
Arizona
get we didn't get to
because Aiden
Arizona
Hill
yet.
will be he had some
Yeah, I
great
think
years.
Aiden Hill would get traded before the draft, but as it is right now, you got to
Arizona
take him
doesn't
now.
have a lot of good players. Well, you either trade away Aiden Hill or Kemper, and you're not trading away Kemper.
No.
Like Hill, like he's played pretty well with Arizona, but I think you either move
Yeah, the
on from
question is whether
him or
Kemper
we'll
wants
scoop
to
him up.
re-sign in Arizona. And if I'm Kemper, I don't. I mean, they're so I don't know.
Well,
And then in which case you sign Aiden Hill and trade Kemper before the.
yeah,
You're not giving him away for nothing. So no.
no, oh no. Well, like you got, yeah, you still have Kemper for next year, and then Ronta's gone. You would love Hill as your backup. See, for me, the way that I would go with it, I'll be like, all right, Kemper, you did a great job here, but we gotta start transitioning in the younger team and start using Aiden
Yeah,
Hill
we're gonna move you on. Tell us where you want to go.
almost
We'll
full
try and
time.
get you there, type of thing. But as far as you mentioned Washington,
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is what we could do today. We could just discuss what we took. I actually, because there was goaltenders are not that big of a problem, and I'm not as high on Vanacek as a lot of people are. I actually took
No,
a flyer on jeez, what's his name? Not Strom, something like that though. Finally had a good year. He was originally drafted by the Pittsburgh
oh,
Penguins. Yeah,
Sprong.
Sprong,
You're
Daniel
talking about
Sprong. I
Daniel
took a
Sprong
flyer
there.
on Sprong. 24 years old. I
Yeah,
want to be
there's
looking
so
for guys
many.
like that.
There's, yeah, and I think that's the way you got to kind of go with Sprong. I mean, he signed up to next year. He would be a great player. And that's the thing with Washington. Like, Washington's so nice because they got so many good players that are locked up on contract that you could go after. Like, you got Dylan, Ketney, Johnson, Van Riemsdyk. You could pick from defensively. Then, offensively, Hathaway, maybe even Eller if they want to sign someone else down or protect someone else. You even got Sprong, which Sprong would be like you were
Now,
saying, a really good pickup, especially for Seattle. Because I mean, you're not losing anything in the pick, like because there's so many good defensemen
yeah,
throughout this entire
it's hard
expansion
to
draft.
find the forwards a little
You know,
bit.
probably not. You're going to be able to. Oh, it is. It is super hard to find the forwards, and I think that will change over the more trades that happen. I think there'll be less defensemen, but I mean, my defensive core, I have Gostisbehere, Miller, Zadorov, guys. Like, there's so many defensemen. Don Kulak, Mayfield. There is a plethora of defensemen that could play really top minute time. None of that are top two defensemen. Both guys can play some really solid minutes. It'd almost be like a New York Islanders type of team where everyone plays about the same minute. That's what I could see out of the defensive core if Seattle is able to get those types of players
Yeah,
that we're talking
Bjorkquist
about.
could be good. Bjorkquist, who is that through? And then Zahorna.
Uh,
Zahorna is a
that was
monster,
Pittsburgh
but I'm not sure
prospect.
that Pittsburgh too. Yeah, I mean, if I can get McCann though, I'm going to take McCann. I'm just not sure that. We'll see what Pittsburgh does protect as well. But I think if I can get McCann, I'm going to do that. Uh, that would be the best player. I don't know. I think you could be Zucker, and it might be tough getting. Like I'm not taking Zucker. So if you want cap space or whatever, then you got to do something better than Zucker. Or you got to do something better than that. And I'm going to be really expensive. Like I'm going to be on the. I know how valuable cap space is this year, and it's going to be
Oh,
freaking
big time.
high if you want to get an over, especially a guy like Zucker who didn't have a great year last year, has been pretty inconsistent his whole career. He's overpriced to begin with. Uh, I'm I'm probably going to be asking for the moon if you want me to take him. So I'm going to be asking quite a bit.
Well, I don't think Pittsburgh might like you might be right on the fact that they might protect Zucker because they did pay a hefty in Zucker to this team. They traded away
Yeah,
Galchenyuk and a first round pick, and Anderson, Cal as a defenseman, and they missed out on him. I would like to lose him for free. And they probably give up a first round draft pick to trade. It's gonna be so tough where you pick from. Yes, also another point that I just remembered: salary cap and open salary cap. I think a lot of talk on, especially the analysts, were like with Vegas, but who knew that Carlson was going to be good there in Vegas? Nobody knew.
no, I didn't. That's one thing
Time of the
that
cap is not
I
going
don't
up.
think
A lot
anybody
of
could have
team
figured
cap
that.
hell, lots
They
over the
didn't know that.
salary cap.
Yeah,
The and I think and I know that a lot of teams are probably about doing trades with other teams, but has $81.5 million cap. They got as many bad contracts as they possibly want to pick up picks.
right.
I mean, you look at Vegas picks from that expansion draft.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
right. Okay, I think our next team was the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's go into the Philadelphia Flyers. Who did you have from Philadelphia?
They got a lot of. Yeah, I picked up
Oh
Shane
yeah, right,
Gostisbehere.
Ghost. Okay, yeah, I actually like that too. Again, though, I'm not taking that pick for free. I know they want to get rid of Ghost. They've been trying to get rid of Ghost. They put him on freaking waivers last year. All right. So
Yes.
I'm not just going to take Ghost to Spear for free. But that if I don't take that, if they don't want to give up a pick to go with it, what do you got? One, two, Drew, Couturier, Konechny. I think they have to. I think if they were smart, they wouldn't protect Voracek. I wouldn't protect Voracek. Farabee Hayes. I wouldn't protect Van Riemsdyk either. So basically,
Well, yeah.
forwards, you're not going to get
Okay,
anybody
then
except for maybe Nolan Patrick.
if you
Oh, is Van Riemsdyk?
okay, so that means because on my protection list, I drew Voracek, the no movement clause, so he could be left unprotected.
Yeah,
Then boom. But those two guys I put one protect if they were to just unprotect Lindblom, they can protect way more defensemen, and they could protect Gostisbehere if they did want to go that route. But that would leave open Van Riemsdyk, Voracek, Lindblom, Lawton, and Nolan Patrick would be available to the Seattle Kraken if they were to go the 4v4, that the 8 skaters, if they were to go with that route. I protected Voracek and Van Riemsdyk. Now Voracek, I don't think anyone would take. It'd
no,
be
they're
pretty
not going
hard
to
to take
take
his
that.
contract,
They're
anyways.
not going to take
And,
that contract.
yes, Ben Frost is exempt. He is exempt from the expansion draft. Now, I think the only possible the way I have it is Gostisbehere would be available, and then Scott Lawton is also available. The best guy would be to go with in Shane Gostisbehere. I feel Scott Lawton's very solid. They wanted a nice depth guy,
Yeah, I like Lawton. If they're not willing to give me a pick for to take
but you're
Gosh to Spear though, I'm going to take Lawton.
going to get so much depth. There's not a lot for Seattle. I think they would just pick him just because of the fact that he could bring that type of level of game.
Well, I already got
But
some
I
pretty
guess you could
decent
also
defense. I got some pretty
about
decent
Matt Dumpa,
defensemen as it
but
is.
skaters.
I think I lost you again. This is annoying.
Uh, I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like I wouldn't just take Gosh to Spear. I would take Scott Lawton unless they give me like a really good pick to take Gosh to Spear. I know they want to get rid of him, so I want to pick maybe even a prospect. I don't know who that prospect will be, but it's going to be like Isaac Ratcliffe or something like that, and a second round pick. I'll leave you have your first this year. You maybe give me a first next year. It's huge to get that 5 million, 4.5 million off their books. If they, especially if they want, knowing Philadelphia, they're going to go after Jones. Almost
I
almost assuredly, they're going to go after Jones. I can. I'm
oh
willing to
gee,
bet you that they're going to go after Jones.
that would suck.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
I'll
geez.
bet you everything I
Oh,
got. They're going after Jones. They're going to trade
oh,
Travis Sanheim.
jeez. No,
Yes,
Philly.
they're going to. I bet you. I'll bet you.
No,
They're going to trade Travis
no,
Sanheim
no.
and some other players or whatever
Please. Oh,
for
Lord. That,
Jones. I know they're going to do it.
they're
So
going to
they're
lose
going.
that
They
trade.
want to get Gosh to Spear off their books so they can go get Jones.
If that ever happens, that would hurt so bad. If Philly picked Jones, oh my Lord, that defense would be horrible. That you want to talk about a like Seth Jones has been horrible defensively. Like he's going like he's a topper at best, a top guy on that team there in Columbus. He's just been good. Likely Seth Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan. I think that if you put him in the right environment, he can get back to what he used to be. but I wouldn't want to bet a lot on it, and they will. I know they just see big. They see what Jones can be or was. They don't have an analytics department at all, so they're gonna just see big, strong, can play 30 minutes, righty, want him, boom. Sanheim, first round pick, Patrick Nolan. Here you go, and there you go, or Morgan Frost or something like that. Yeah, so they're gonna want Gosh to Spear out of there. I think I lost. I lost you again.
Oh, well, no, um, oh man, that would be devastating.
Anyways, we're gonna take. We're gonna say that we get a pick and Gosh
Oh,
to Spear.
yeah, my internet's
Yeah,
not
the
like
internet's going
usual.
crazy. We're gonna take a pick and Gosh to Spear.
Yeah,
We're gonna get a pick because
yeah,
they're
my
gonna give up.
internet's
I
crazy
know they'll
today.
give up the pick. I know they will. We'll get Gosh to Spear,
Yeah,
probably Ratcliffe, who's
well,
got or something like that, and a pick or something, just to get rid of Gosh to Spear, so they can go get their Trophy Jones. I'll bet you.
well, they don't have a lot of salary cap either. So Seth Jones, you open it up enough and get rid of Osprey to for the future. Now, it is a recommendation for them. If you're listening to this, Philadelphia, do not you guys ever more bad if you wanted to trade away Sanheim for Jones. It would be the worst move that they have ever made.
Yeah, it could be,
After
it could
Jones,
be, it could be, but
especially
I'm
so.
almost positive they're gonna do it. I'm almost positive, almost positive.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, I skipped Nashville. Okay, where's oh, I skipped Nashville. Sorry, I gotta do Nashville. Okay, let's do Nashville now. Who did you have for Nashville?
Okay. Oh man, I picked Cali
You think
Yarncrook.
they'll
I think
get
I picked from
Yarncrook?
them.
Okay, you're probably right. You don't protect Johansson, right? Why would you protect Johansson? He doesn't have a no movement clause.
Yeah,
I'm not
I guess.
taking
Hang on, let me see. Did I pick him or not? I
I wouldn't protect
can't
Matt
remember if I did
Duchene
because
or
I did
Johansson.
quickly do this, but
I
oh,
wouldn't protect Johansson or
I
Duchene.
did have you. If you were to take off, well, Duchesne's not. I guess yeah, no one's gonna take those eight
No,
more.
I'm
Then
not.
protect Yarncrook and Kunin, and then they would only have Sissons, Graham, Shane, and that's really it. If you were Duchesne and Johansson, no one's taking those contracts either. And if I'm Seattle, I'm not taking
No, no.
them either. Yeah, I guess Sakura got picked up. I would probably go for like a Rocky
Yeah,
Grimaldi or something
I
like
would
that.
take Grimaldi
Cousins
if he's
or a
available.
Yakov,
I would be all over
just one of those
Grimaldi. Yeah.
guys.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Nice little
5,
goal scorer.
6. Holla's a
Well, they would protect four. They would protect eight skaters because they would protect eight skaters because you would protect Forsberg, Arvidsson, Kunin, and Youngkaruk, and then your defensively you would go Josis, Ekholm, and Fabro
Or either that or you leave Fabro out, and I'm all over
because
Fabro if you're
Dante,
going to take that. I'll take Fabro.
or you leave Fabro out, but
What's
Seattle
the
could
four
scoop them
skaters?
on right
So
on up, and I think they
you protect
would.
Philip Forsberg, Arvidsson, Granlund, and
Well,
oh, he's a
Granlund's a
free agent, so you
free
don't need
worry
to
about
worry about him.
Granlund. You would just I with Kunin and Kelly Yankra because Spin had a
I'd
decent
take
season. He looked
Rocco
like he
Grimaldi.
could go up, and then you got
If they did that, I would
Yankra.
take Rocco Grimaldi. I still think he's got offensive upside. Uh, yeah, that's who I would take.
I think so too. He's not bad
I don't
analytically.
know why he
You
doesn't
know,
get
he
more
gives
minutes than he
you
does. Yeah,
some.
that's true.
He's definitely not the best player.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing is that he's not very well defensively. He can finish that puck. He can score a lot of goals for you, but do
so we have Rocco Grimaldi, Colton, and questionably McCann as our That wouldn't be bad. That's not bad at all. Hyman, Johnson, and Donskoy and
You know,
Cahoon.
that is our third line.
Yeah, if you want to do it that way, you can mix and match a lot here. Sprong, Kopp, and Cahoon.
And then,
You could put Grimaldi up there. You could put Hyman
well, I
on the
would have
top
McCann up
line.
on that second line because Tyler Johnson's not bad.
Yeah, but then you got
Yeah.
Donskoy, right? You got to play Donskoy. I had Donskoy out of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I had out of that. But so what do you guys? Tanner Jeannot. Oh yeah, what about Tanner Jeannot? Good point,
Oh, for
Warren. No,
Colorado.
with Nashville, but I don't think they have to protect him.
Oh,
It's, Tanner Jeannot is a two. Is he? Is he?
no,
He's not
I
eligible, is he?
don't think so. Let me just
I would take. Yeah, he
7 games
really well actually. I don't think he's played
required to
enough
meet the
though.
exposure. You know, more games required to meet the exposure limit. Oh, he's a free agent this year. He is available, but he is an RFA, I think. Oh, yeah, actually, no, he didn't play enough games to be required to be
That's
taken
what
in
I
the
thought.
expansion draft. He needed 7 more games to
Right.
be
What about
exposed,
Eli Tolvanen?
and so
He's did he have to be? He don't. He hasn't
I
played
don't
enough.
think he's. I think he's
But he
exempt
has
as well.
2 AHL years where he played a lot. Is he exempt? If he's exempt, then he's exempt, I guess. But
Finnan,
okay.
he's exempt.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do, and then we'll take Rocco Grimaldi. Everybody good with Rocco Grimaldi? I don't think we have too many people in there now. I've been ignoring my people in my. Yeah, it would have been a great pick, but they can't. They don't need to pick him, so they don't need to expose him. So I don't. He won't be exposed. Okay, we'll go to the next one.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Which team?
Next team was okay. We did Nashville, we did Philly, and the Calgary
Yeah,
Flames. Okay, so Lucic said he would be exposed, so that's
this will be fun.
1, 2. Jeez. They'll
One
probably
off.
protect Sean Monahan.
The way that I got it protected is Bonnie, Lindholm, Monahan, Goudreau, Chuck, and then I guess one guy would be Backlund. I guess you would protect.
Yeah,
You look it up and down that roster. There's much else to
yeah.
protect for Backlund. Defensively, you go with Giordano, Hannafin, Anderson open. Unless you want to unprotect Giordano, I don't know if they would want to do that. So you really don't got a lot unless you want to go after Tanev. But I don't know if I mean, he had a good season. I think they might actually
They're not
protect.
going to protect.
Actually, you know what? I think what Calgary
Just leave Noah Hanifin
might
out?
do, they might go with 8 skaters.
Really?
They might go with just 8 skaters.
So Kachuk, Goudreau, Monahan, and Backlund, and then leave the. And no, they won't go 8 skaters.
Well, here you go with 4 skaters. Chuck, Lindholm, and Matt Bonnie, and Tanev, Anderson, Hannafin, and or you could leave Giordano Bose, which I think, and then you protect Monahan or Dubé. That.
Uh,
And then I guess if you were to just do 3 of the, you could just then protect Backlund and everyone else that you
Andrew
need back.
Mangiapane will
If you
not
were
be
to just leave
available.
open.
No way Mangiapane will be.
Huh? Who?
Lawrence says he'd go after Mangiapane.
Oh no,
There's
he
no
has to
way
be
he'll be
protected.
available.
Oh yeah, but he would be
Oh yeah,
protected.
for sure.
He would be
No,
protected
no
before
doubt about
anything.
it.
Like I think Giordano gets exposed. I
Yeah,
think
I
Giordano gets
could,
exposed.
unless I wouldn't even doubt. I think they're going to trade him before. He knows he's getting traded. He knows he's getting traded, and I don't think I take Giordano. I don't
Oh,
think I take Giordano.
Giordano had a horrible
Oh yeah,
season.
actually I would. Here's value in Georgia.
No, he had one hill.
Yeah, but somebody would take him for some
He's a
picks.
captain.
Somebody out there would take him for picks for
Well,
sure.
honestly,
For sure.
well, you know I could see I can taking taking him because it's only 1 year left after this year.
Yeah.
It's only one more year. It's 2022. So, well, excuse me. So, you got Dr. Giordano, you got Derek Ryan, you got there's not a lot of players from Calgary. I think I selected back then at first until I forgot Lucic waives his no movement clause. I would probably just go with like Josh Levo or Mark Giordano, but I would get paid something I think for Mark Giordano,
I
just
don't
like
know
how we
if you
did with
would be able to get
Gostisbehere,
paid for Mark
but like
Giordano
maybe a
because they're going
sec
to
something.
trade him whether you take him or not. So if you don't take him, then they're going to trade him and get picks for him. So they're not going to give you anything for him. If you don't want to take him, don't take him. We're going to trade him anyways. So then, in which case, I think I would take Giordano and I would trade him. I think there's teams out there that still find value in Giordano. Probably like, you know, Benning will probably give you a first for
Oh yeah, probably teams that probably teams that don't look
him.
too
Yeah,
much into the analytics will probably go right
absolutely.
after Mark
And there's
Giordano
lots of teams out there that'll do it.
because he's a
Yeah.
veteran guy. He didn't do that bad analytically though. Defense last year. Now maybe that was transition of coaches, but the guy's 37 years old.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But somebody will, I
Anyone
know
goes out,
somebody will definitely take him and give you
I'll be
something of
playing like
value
top
for him
six.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
without a doubt. Uh,
there's no
go with
doubt about it.
Shillington.
What's that?
I I think Seattle would probably go after Tyler Parsons, goalie
Oh yeah,
from
maybe.
Calgary.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess.
Parsons available. Shilling. I there's not Josh Levo. That's the only the Derek that you can really select from.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next team. We got a couple. We got 15 minutes. Um, Arizona, you're not going to get nothing from them. Like, really, you're not going to
Hill,
get
maybe
any.
that's it.
Aiden Hill, and they'll probably trade Aiden Hill before the draft. I would almost assure, but that would
The
be the
only
pick
players you
for sure.
got is Frolic, Johan Larson, Labushkin. You could go after because he is, but everyone else is free agents or really not enticing.
Yeah,
Nice point though.
yeah, it would have to be Aiden Hill. That's pretty quick. Forwards, there's nobody. Like one, two,
Like
three,
Pitlick
four,
and
five.
Larson. That's it.
Yeah, nobody. Okay, so we got Aiden Hill. That was easy. Aiden Hill would be our pick, assuming that they don't trade him. Other than that, you're not going to get much of anybody. Same as Buffalo.
No.
Buffalo, what are you going to get out of Buffalo? Nothing really. Uh,
Colin Miller. Colin Miller or Jake McCabe you possibly could get. I picked Colin Miller because Colin Miller's solid defensively, played really good when he went to Vegas. I think he would be a solid pickup.
yeah, he was already on
Right-handed
a he
too.
was
There's not a
already
lot of
on an
right-handed
expansion
defensemen,
team.
and he played really good when he was in Vegas.
We're not getting it. We don't have any forwards, so that's a problem. Yeah, he did play not too bad when he was in Vegas. Jeff's they have to protect Jeff Skinner. That's the funniest thing. Uh, you
Oh,
leave Okposo off. You can leave Okposo out.
yeah,
So Reinhardt, one,
yeah.
two.
I got Bjork, Thompson, Middlestad, Olofsson, Reinhardt, Skinner, Nykel, and then Rustalainen, Dahlin, and Yokoharju.
So yeah, you'd only
That's the
have
way I
like
see them going.
Trey Kajula, Tobias Reeder. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
the problem is
Cody
we
Eakin
got
and
too many
Zendis
defensemen
Girgensons.
now, but so many defensemen. We're gonna have to trade some.
But you would have to trade away. You just trade them away, or you make you probably see a lot of deals because even when I did an expansion draft, I seen how many defensemen I was picking. I'm like, yeah, you'd probably make a lot of trades, dumping out like defensemen for players. I think you'll probably be seeing a lot of that because the defenseman topic is going to be pretty hot this season. There's a lot of teams that need good defense, and if Seattle could take advantage of that, whew, that'd be beautiful for them.
Yeah, you said Rasmus Asplund, but I don't think he's played enough professional that he might be available. But I still think I'd probably go with Miller.
Oh, I would.
Yeah,
I would. Colin Miller's is too good. I would keep him. He would be a really solid defenseman for the team. He's really good defensively. Even when he was in Vegas, 88% defensively and 74% offensively expected. Oh, man, that's amazing. Buffalo is where he started going downhill offensively, but he's still great defensively. So I think that would be someone great for Seattle to go and pick up.
yeah, and he's like you said, he's been in on an expansion team, so he can help out that way to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
that as
So,
well.
uh, all right, I gotta get the stream back up again. I kind of messed up here a little bit. Here we go. There we go. Okay. You don't. I don't think. Would you think they would not protect Miller?
Well, unless they trade away Rustalainen here soon,
Yeah, that was
then
the thing.
maybe I see them protecting Miller.
Yeah,
But if they don't
they're
trade away
kind of.
Rustalainen, I don't see Adams letting go of Rustalainen. Now, personally, if I was the GM of the Buffalo Sabres, I wouldn't even protect Rustalainen because he's that bad. I would not protect Rustalainen.
Yeah, but he's got
But
perceived
knowing
value. So
Adams and knowing the Pagulas, and right, he has that perceived value just like Seth Jones.
yeah,
Rasmus Anderson has more value than Colin Miller. Even though hypothetically Miller actually has more value than Ristolainen, without a doubt, he would probably cover Ristolainen over Colin Miller, unless you were to trade away Ristolainen before the expansion draft, which I could see happening.
yeah, I think so too. I think well, the talk has been New Jersey is discussing that with them because New Jersey doesn't like to have
Yeah.
a good defense, so that works out
Yeah,
well.
so yeah, let's pick up Ristolainen. Let's
That works
let's
out
make it
well.
even worse.
That
Let's put Subban
yeah,
alongside of Ristolainen.
yeah, that's a nice combo right there. Yeah.
Oh my lord. Why, New Jersey? You have such a good core going for
Yeah,
you, and you're gonna waste it all on Ristolainen?
and Butcher, and yeah, the gang there.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah. Uh, but apparently they're looking at him. I don't know what they're planning on offering, but
He is so bad.
that
He is so bad.
now that being
He is
said,
so bad.
again, he seems to be a guy like me that just it's a product of being in a very poor development group in Buffalo, and
Mm.
if like a team like LA or whatever got a hold of them, they could probably change things up. He's got the tools. He's fast. He's he's got a shot. He's aggressive. He's a lot of great things, but he hasn't been brought up properly in the NHL. And
See, the thing is, I don't know if New Jersey will be able to do that because even with Ryan Murray this year, Ryan Murray's game, we've seen a regression from him going from Columbus to New Jersey. He did not do as well defensively and especially offensively. So how well will Ristolainen do if Murray even really play that well in that system? That's going to be the biggest question for me for Ristolainen is can he jump up and will the New Jersey Devils be enough to coach him to be back in that level? I just don't think that he'll be able to rebound. I just don't think he will be able to.
I don't know. I think he still has a lot of potential, and a team could get a hold of him and do something with him. I just wouldn't give up a lot on that, you know.
Yeah.
But the perceived value, somebody will. Will probably be New Jersey. I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe there's nobody out there that wants him. It's possible. I don't know, but I
Hmm.
find that hard to believe. After we see it over and over again in the NHL, players like this get people overpay for them like crazy on perceived value. So the San Jose Sharks.
No,
Uh,
that's easy. I think that's a pretty easy one. I think There's not very much available. I think I took like Rudolph's Balsers. I think I took
Yeah, that would be a
because
good
it's like
pickup.
basically the only pickup, and he's a goal scorer, depth guy. Could
Yeah,
be
it's
someone
24.
nicer.
I like that pickup. I like I yeah,
I don't think
Rudolph
Barbadano's
Balsers.
available.
What's that?
No,
No.
he's exempt.
Oh, is
Lauren
he?
Barbadanov's exempt.
Really?
He will not be able to
He's
be selected. Yeah,
27. He never played
he's
in them.
exempt.
Wow. I would love to get do that. I think um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that looks like the only guy that you want to take there. Balsers and defense, nothing.
No, unless you want to take Redeem Simic. I think
Uh,
that's your next
well, they're
best
gonna
guy.
leave. Well, wait a sec. Are they gonna leave Brent Burns out? Because I would take Mario
No,
Ferraro.
you no
Or is he exempt? Is
no.
Mario Ferraro
He's
exempt?
exempt as well.
Oh, okay.
He's exempt as well.
Then there's
Because
no.
the way I have it protected is Carlson, Burns, Vlasic, and then Couture, Kane, Meyer, Hurdle, LeBanc, Donato, and Sorsen.
We did the
You really don't
Islanders.
even need to get Donato or Sorsen, but also they do need to sign two players to a contract too for San Jose because they need two players to be exposed for the expansion draft. They don't have anybody on contract that is exposed for this expansion draft, so they need two players under contract. So some more things that need to be done with paperwork, but San Jose still needs two more players to be readily available for the Kraken
Right.
because there's no players under contract right now that
That's
are
pretty
available.
easy to do. Yeah.
No, yeah, oh yeah, it's
They'll,
easy.
they'll figure that out, no problems. But yeah, Balsers it is.
Hmm.
He wants. Okay, did we do the Islanders together? He wants us to do the Islanders.
I
Implicit.
don't think we've done the
Implicit.
Islanders yet.
Well, we did it before, but we'll do it together again. I can't remember who did I take off the Islanders. Oh yeah, this is the one
I
where they leave. They leave Josh Bailey available, apparently, and I don't
uh,
know. It's the assistant captain and Josh Bailey. He has gone through hell with that team and never left. Never. He's been so loyal. I just have a feeling that knowing Lamorello,
I
he'll protect him. I just have a
Oh
feeling.
yeah, I think they'll protect him.
I think they'll protect him.
Letty, I could see them moving. I could see them moving on from Letty, but
I'm not taking Letty.
the way that I see that, the way that I seen it, because there's not very many good defensemen. Unless you want to, maybe you keep Scott Mayfield, because I was selecting Scott Mayfield. Maybe you keep
That's who we
Mayfield
got.
over Letty,
That's who we got.
but
We got. Okay, you leave Letty exposed.
I went with Mayfield.
You leave Letty exposed.
I
You take, or you
yeah,
no, you
leave
keep
Letty.
Mayfield. Keep Mayfield and leave Letty exposed. I'm not.
You could do that because Nick Letty's not very good, but they need puck moving. I mean, Letty kind of, I don't know. I don't really like Nick Letty.
He can put some
You could
points up.
go the way that I,
I'm not taking Letty from them unless they want to sweeten the pot. So
oh,
it
yeah,
probably
without a
is a good
doubt.
idea if they want to keep Letty, expose him because I'm not taking him. I'm not
Yeah,
taking
because the
Letty.
way that I went was I protected Letty, Pulak, and Pelch, but I might go with Mayfield, Pelch, and Pulak now. And then offensively, I went with Lee, Barzell, Nelson, Eberle, Peugeot, Bailey, and Bouvier. And that's the way I went with it because unless you want to like protect Duck Hall,
No,
like
I'm not
Michael Duck Hall
protecting
is
Doug
available
Cole.
too.
No, no, no.
Well,
But
if Mayfield gets picked up, then that could be an option for Seattle is Michael Duck Hall.
yeah, that I would take Del Cole over Letty. I mean, just to take a guy off their team. Like there really isn't much to take.
No.
So, but if they really want the cap space, and the Islanders need cap space like crazy, I imagine they want to improve that defense. They want if they could get rid of Letty, that's 5.5 million. They
Oh
could
yeah, that's a lot of money off the
they
cap space.
could not sign. You know, they're not going to sign Zajac back. They could sign Zizekas for less. I'm pretty sure that Zizekas isn't going to get 3.3 next time. They
No,
could
he's
make a
most
whole
well, he's
bunch
really
of
good
room and
defensively,
go get
but
a defenseman better than Letty. So yeah, but they don't have much for draft picks to give up, right? They used all their draft picks getting Pajot. Next year
yeah,
they do. Give me a second next year,
and
and then I'll take
they
Letty
could
off
trade
your hands.
away. you are right implicit. They could trade away Lad, but I don't know. They've been putting them on the LTR, aren't they?
Yeah,
Haven't
they
they
use
been just
Lad
putting them on
for.
the LTR?
They're using Lad for cap space in the summer. So
Yeah, because they've just been throwing him on the LTIR, I
yeah,
thought. No, no, no.
isn't that what they're doing?
No, he's on the taxi squad. He's on the taxi
Oh,
squad because he's not actually injured. He's on the taxi squad. So yeah, that could be a guy that you could possibly maybe get rid of
how are you gonna get rid
and
of him?
maybe try to pull
Who's
sort of.
who's gonna take
You'd
him?
have, I mean, I mean, 2 years left after this one, so 2 years.
If I'm taking
You
Lad off
could.
your hands, I want your first for sure.
Well, Letty's contract is the same as Lad.
Yeah, but
Letty,
Lad's not gonna
you
do anything.
Lad would just be a guy that you just bury in the AHL,
Yeah, pretty much nothing. That's why I said like Letty
right?
has at least some value. I could use
But
Letty if I wanted.
He has a little bit of value, but with how many defensemen we've been talking about us getting, we would never need Letty. Lad would almost be a smarter one because you could just bury him down in the AHL, save like 500 grand on his contract, and just bury him down in the AHL.
I would want more because I have to bury him in the
Oh,
NHL. I
you
would
would have
want
to
more.
take more. You would have to take more from the Islanders.
Yeah,
That's without a doubt.
that's what I'm saying. If they're willing to pay
You
up
would
for
have to
that,
trade
I'll
away a
do that for them.
prospect. Yeah, they would have
They're
to
gonna
pay
have to
up.
pay up though. I'm gonna want a first. I want you first next year at least to do something like that.
I would even take just a prospect, a good solid prospect off of
Oh, I would take
the
Bavillier
Islanders.
in a heartbeat, but there's no way Bavillier is gonna be there. There's no way.
Nah, I mean, Kiefer Bellows wouldn't be a bad option
I wouldn't
if
just
you were
take a
to trade that for
prospect.
him.
I would take like Bode Wild if you want to give me Bode Wild. Yeah, sure, I'll do
You
that.
would have to get rid of Bald Wild because there's not a lot of prospects that the Islanders have.
I think they want the one reason why they would like to get rid of Letty is Bode Wild could be ready sooner than you think. So that would be the reason why they think that they can do that for Letty to get rid of Letty. Uh, but I mean, we're talking about Lad here, right? So I'd want Bode Wild or like I'm gonna really grind them, man. I'm not just gonna I don't want you to feel bad. No, I want you to feel bad. If you're gonna like cap space is so huge right now. If you want me to take it, I want first round picks for anything, especially a guy like Lad. I want a first. If you're not willing to do it, okay, don't do it.
Well, yeah, you're also having that. I think Lad will be more expensive than what Letty will be because Letty's only one more year left after that. Lad's 2 years, so Lad would be way more expensive, and also he does not meet the 27 games required to be exposed as
Who,
well.
Lad?
So
Oh, so
Lad,
they
yeah,
don't. Well,
27 games required to meet the exposure requirement, which I think Lad still can be picked, but they need like two players that meet the exposure requirement,
yeah. Well, it doesn't matter
and
if he's.
Lad doesn't
The
fit that.
fact is, you're still. It's just a trade in itself, regardless of whether you
Mm.
expose him or not. And you want that cap space. You're gonna pay hardcore for that. Hardcore. First in a prospect and stuff like that. You don't like it? Go do it somewhere else. See if anybody else will give. You, nobody else
But
is gonna do it.
I could see them. I could see maybe them dumping off Komarov or something like that. Just one of those smaller contracts as well, because they don't got a lot of picks, but they have a lot of like second, thirds, and stuff like that. They have a lot of picks just all over the place. And I think if they were to maybe trade away some salary cap off the team, maybe start it off small with Komarov and those guys. But I think the biggest target they have is maybe getting rid of Lad or getting rid of Letty. I think those are the next big steps that you
Yeah.
have to take to make this team
Yeah,
even
for
better.
sure. And that's what I mean. That's how important it is to them. And I know that. I know
But
that if I'm Francis, I'm going to rake you over the coals, dude. You're going to have to give
but
me a
if I'm also
crap
the
ton.
Islanders, I could take this slow as well because going into this off season, they already have Letty at 1 year left, and then they also have Lad at 2 years left. And then Barzell, you only have to worry about him in 3 year or yeah, like another 2 years. So he has the same contract as Lad. Once Lad's contract ends, Barzell contract ends, which is perfect because then you could just spend all the money you need on Barzell. So it's not really a big rush, I think, for the Islanders. it would be a bigger rush if they were to want to make themselves deeper going into next year. I think that would be the biggest thing they would have to clear up cap space for, is if they wanted to make their team a lot better going into
Yeah,
next
I
year.
think
Because they only have about
I
$5.9
think that's
million
exactly
right
what
now
they're
going
going to
into
want
this
to do.
offseason.
And I think this is a great opportunity for them to do it. I don't think any other
Mm-hmm.
team isn't it, like there's no team that's not going to rake them over the coals for what they want to do. In fact, this year it's even harder because there's not as many teams out there that are just trying to reach the floor. In fact, there's nobody. Detroit is going to be more competitive this year. Probably are going to be more on the buyer side. Ottawa did fantastic in the last 20 games.
Yeah, oh
You're
my
not
lord,
going to
amazing.
be they're not going to be taking contracts like that. The only team that will be now that has the power to get picks like that and need them really bad would be the Arizona Coyotes. Yeah,
Actually, to know, the Islanders actually have to have a very busy offseason. They only have $7.4 million around there, and they still have to sign Beauvillier, Pelech, and also Syorkin that they have not even signed yet, and they only have $7.4 million with like a
yeah,
full roster, of course. If you were to send some players down, you might
yeah.
have around maybe
They
10, 12
desperately
million
need cap
dollars.
space. So
But yes, they need it. You got Hickey, who's taking up a bit of money. I don't know if you would buy him out. I
you
mean, you
said
could, but you're not going to save
trade
a lot
Hickey away.
on 2.5 million.
Uh,
You would trade him
Weitzel said
away.
trade him away. Sure, but you're going to have to. How many draft picks are you going to give up here? Nobody's taking Hickey and giving you something in return. He has negative
No.
value, very negative value. So if you want to trade him, we'll take him in Seattle again, but it's going to cost you a first and picks and blah blah blah. It's going to cost you a lot because every team out there almost is in cap hell because of the flat cap.
Hmm.
So cap room is as valuable as a as a blue chip. You know, it's a blue chip. It's huge right now. It's gold. So yeah, that's where Seattle has all the leverage right now, and they could come out swimming, man. They could come out swimming in picks for the next 2 years, and 3 4 years from now have an absolute unbelievable Colorado type team. Be crazy.
Hmm.
All right, I guess that's it.
Now, yup, yup, yup,
We
yup.
didn't have
That was a
yeah, it
good
was a
show.
great show. Too bad there wasn't more people watching it.
I know,
But
right?
that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this. Oh shoot! I forgot to when I got into the first. I was going to turn. I'll turn it into a video somehow or something like that, talking about each one of these things. I'll send this off to the Islanders guy for sure, because I was talking to and see what
Hmm.
he has to say about that. I'm having a lot of fun doing that. I'm having a lot of fun in the chat. I find it interesting what like teams. There's a lot of people that see their own teams in a bubble and like just don't get what's
Yeah.
going on around the rest of the league, and they just think that like in Philadelphia, I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and people they swear up and down that Seattle is just gonna gift them taking John Van Riemsdyk. They're
Yeah.
no,
No.
it's not gonna
No.
happen. Oh, but
I
he
mean,
had a
I
good
love
year
James Van
last year.
Riemsdyk.
$6 million a year and had barely had a
I
good year last year. Uh,
I personally like James Van Riemsdyk. Analytically, he's
no,
not
he's
that
not bad.
bad, but at $7 million,
No,
at 7 mil, that's a little
no way.
steep.
Way
It's a
too
little
steep.
steep,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
No, I'm not taking him for that. And just it's the $7 million thing. Unless he's a boss right now at $7 million, you're gonna have to give up some stuff
Hmm.
for that. Anyways,
Oh yeah.
that's our full 42, and that's all we have to get today. So we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Peyton does not doing anything right now because he can't because it's where he's living. I'm going to be doing a stream maybe on the weekend with John or something like that. I'm not sure. John will be doing it tonight. I'll see you guys on that if you're going to be doing that. And you did do your sports desk, right?
Yes, I've been doing that lately. You could go check out Steel Flyers channel there, and we have two episodes up already for the Sports Desk show. We should be having another one coming here very soon, so that should be very exciting. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We talk about all sports, football. basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever you want to know. We keep you up to date
Yeah,
on
so
it.
check that out. It's cool channel. It's a cool thing they're doing now for Sports Desk and the Steel Flyers. All Sports Network, which you all know about. Have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye.